Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Juicy. We're doing a LSU versus South Carolina series preview here on the Fishbowl Radio. In addition to that, as well, we're doing LSU Softball with their, regional berth here, being the 10th national seed in the country. Without further ado, let's introduce everybody to Juicy. How you doing today, Juicy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well myself here. So let's talk about LSU softball real quick here. Um, they're in the Baton Rouge Regional for this year. Juicy, are you shocked they didn't get a top eight national seed because they're going to go on the road in the Super Regional?
I kind of, I kind of was shocked. I mean, they were number like 4 in RPI. It, I mean, I guess I get it on one sense that they kind of had lost a little bit of steam, but I mean, they had definitely had a tough schedule, and they have won some tough games against some good teams. So that's another consideration. But uh, I mean, I guess they could have got it, but I mean, I understand why the committee didn't, but they definitely were deserving of it.
Yeah. So LSU softball is going to be taking on Southeastern in their first game of that regional here. So I think they'll take care of business against Southeastern. I think they'll win that matchup here. I think they'll actually make it through this regional. Um, very much, pretty much unscathed, I would say here. Not to say there isn't
Well,
good.
Nebraska has one of the better has one of the has a pretty good pitcher with Jordan. I think her name's Jordan Bale or something.
Yeah. Um, I mean, last year LSU got knocked out in the super regionals here, but they, them getting eliminated by Oklahoma actually a really good thing for them because they actually, if you think about it, they got some rest. They're able to rest up for this regional here for sure. So that'll be something to see here.
Yeah, it's not always bad to get eliminated from conference. It's not always bad to get eliminated from conference tournament early.
Yeah, so they'll be playing Southeastern on Friday at 4:30 at Tiger Park, and the game's gonna be broadcast on the SEC network. So, uh, Beth Torino was quoted saying this: "I think we had a few that needed some rest, and we took the last couple of days off. We got back on the field a little bit Sunday. I think we're really played a schedule the last few weeks, and I think of some of the travel, getting a Monday night against Florida, having to turn around and be at Arkansas on Thursday, to play Thursday then straight to the SEC tournament. I think it was a tough stretch that we were dealt there, but I think we needed a little bit of rest. Hopefully, we got that, and we'll be ready to go. So, yeah, that is a very daunting thing to go from Florida to Arkansas. All that they have to do there. So it's part of the thing and part of the way you got to do things here. So, is this Beth Torina has to get to OKC this year, Juicy? Do you think this is the year that she has to do it here? And if she doesn't, is it, got to get out of here kind
I
of
think
thing?
I think so, man. I've been saying that the last couple of years, but I really think so. It's kind of getting a little bit of a drought for them. I don't quite remember when the last time they've been to OKC, but it's definitely overdue. I mean, these Veterina squads the past few years have been starting off. They start off on fire, then they kind of seem to slowly fade out as the season goes along. But we can't have that happen in the postseason, though, because that's definitely going to be that's definitely somewhat of a coaching fault too.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go whenever. This is the time to be at your peak here. And if you're not at your peak, you're going to be in trouble. And that's kind of something that you kind of look at and you see what's going on there. So, Beth Arena, I think they're going to get as far as their pitching is going to take them. I think Sydney Bergeron is going to go out there. I think she's going to pitch a heck of a job out there on Southeastern. If they even decide to go with her, I mean that's still kind of up in the air. Do you want to throw her out there first, or you'll see how it all goes here? So, you
I
contemplate
would honestly. That's my strategy. I wouldn't.
Number 3, they got so UConn and Nebraska's in there as well in this regional here. So how it's all going to shake out here is
But I
LSU's going to play.
understand if they do that. But I understand if they do that though,
Yeah,
because you always want to win the first one.
you got to win the first one to get to the second one, right? So
Yeah, to win the first one, you only got to win like 2 more games to get out of the regional.
yeah, LSU is going to be taking on Southeastern. UConn's going to play Nebraska in the early game at 2. So winner out of those games will meet each other. Losers will play each other as well. Loser goes home after that point here, and the winner of that elimination game awaits the loser of that winner's game, basically, of the first games. And it's for it's the second consecutive season LSU. It feels. They had an RPI of 4, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't get a top 8. That's kind of like the thing there. And if you want to look at LSU's, so this is important to look at. Looking at home records and away records here. If you look at,
If they don't went further in the tournament, they definitely would have got the host.
oh,
They would have got an 8 seed.
I guarantee you, if they would have beat Oklahoma, they would have got it. They beat Oklahoma, they're a top 8 seed. So LSU softball is 6-9 on the road this year. They're 30-4 at home. They're 30-4 at home. Okay, that's part of what's going on here. They're 30-4 at home, 6-9 on the road. It's just one of those things that's going to be something we're going to look at and see what's going to happen there. So, Juicy, what you think about this? Like them being on the road, having a losing record on the road, is that going to doom this softball team?
Well, it's not looking good if you got to travel on the road. Now, if they can get lucky and let's see, they're the 10 seed. If they can get lucky and have the number like 7 seed who they be playing, the winner of that regional, if they can get lucky and have an upset there, then they'd host the super regional and that would help them out. But to have a losing record on the road,
Yeah.
it doesn't bode well if you got to travel for super regional. However, it's not to say they can't win. I mean, they have wins on the road. They're not winless on the road. So, I mean, technically they can do it, but it's an uphill battle.
Yeah. I think they'll make it out of the regional. I really believe they will. It's just kind of one of those things there. I don't know about the super. We'll have to wait and see. If it comes out of that regional there. But let's switch over to LSU baseball because you think they win the regional, Juicy, though, before we go to baseball?
Do I think what you said?
Do you think that they will win the regional? LSU softball.
LSU softball, yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely think they win it though.
I believe in that too. But let's go switch over to baseball here. Paul Maneri. If that name doesn't ring familiar, you're not really too much of an LSU fan. Winner of the 2009 national championship at LSU. The Tigers are going to go meet him in Columbia, South Carolina, and there's already Gamecock fans that want to fire the man in his first year at the helm at being skipper of South Carolina. I think the Tigers are going to sweep South Carolina here. South Carolina's been on a downward trend lately. LSU coming off a big series win against Arkansas here. So LSU probably has the 1-2 best punch of pitchers in the country here. So, Juicy, what you think about this upcoming matchup against South Carolina?
Well, I know LSU's got their road struggles, but South Carolina's just a reeling baseball team this year. I'm tempted to say LSU should sweep South Carolina, but with the road struggles, I don't think that I'm not gonna say they sweeping them, but I know they. I definitely would be confident enough to say that they'll win 2 out of 3 for sure on the road in a much needed road series when like you said, the best 1-2 punch with Cade Anderson and Ianson, and then you could even argue that they have a plenty of starter worthy pitchers on that they could throw out there for the third game between Case and Evans, Zach Cowan, who's been an absolute stud in the bullpen for him. He's been a big part of this season for him. Chase Shores at times. He can be pretty solid too, and he can go some innings. Zach Cowan can go some innings. Case and Evans can go innings. So they got options even for a number 3 starter on Sunday too. So I mean, they really have a really good situation, like all around for pitching, honestly.
And that's what you're going to need to get to Omaha. That is a very important thing to have there. So currently LSU's RPI is 7, and their strength of schedule is 24. So, but that's going to go down. That RPI is going to go down because they'll be playing in the SEC tournament here. Now this week, they need to sweep it because they need to be in a situation where they go to the SEC tournament that they can start winning games in the SEC tournament, and if they go deep enough run, they'll lock up that 8 national seed or above and put themselves. I think this pitching staff altogether is better than their 2023 staff when they won the national championship. Now the bats ain't what they were back then in the 23 staff, but they're still not lacking too much here. I think the pitching's better on this team here than it was in 23. So I think that is a very good, positive to look at if you're looking at it that way. So
they keep them in the game. They have a pitching staff that's able to keep them in the game.
yeah, and I mean, if LSU can get a top 8 national seed, they will be going to Omaha this year because I think it's that, like, you keep asking me every week, like, so you're going to change to go to Omaha? It's going to depend on where this seating happens at here because if LSU goes on the road with these top 8 national seeds going on there, I don't think they make it out of the supers because they just don't play well on the road. They have a losing record on the road so far. So, I mean, look, I like their chances at home a lot better. That's just me. I mean, you're 30-5 at home, the 4-0 neutral site.
And then on top of that, I mean, if LSU can score 6 runs, LSU this year, when they score 6 runs or more, they're 31-1 overall record. So they gotta, I think, get to 6 wins is a pretty solid bet. I mean, 6 runs at this point is a pretty solid bet that they're gonna win a game.
Yeah. I mean, I was shocked at how the Arkansas series kind of went for. Like, I thought it was gonna be like really close, 3 games or whatever. LSU blew them out in the second game. It wasn't even close. I mean, they 10-run rule Arkansas, 13-3. I mean, the Friday.
Anthony Ianson could have pitched another complete game. I still don't understand why they pulled him out.
Yeah, I mean, the Friday night game, the 5-4 10 inning win there. It was
I would argue that Ianson's been pitching a little bit better than Cade Anderson lately.
Is that kind of a hot take? I don't. You know what? I kind of agree with that. I do think lately he has been pitching a little better than Cade Anderson, but that's not to say Cade Anderson's pitching horribly or anything. But I think he's been
Cade
doing it.
Anderson's a great pitcher.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher, but I mean there's definitely an argument to be made there. To be quite frank, definitely, yeah. But if I'm looking at this here, depending how all this ends here, it look at the SEC standings. I'm trying to see if they go. Oh, there's the baseball. Okay, so pulling that up here real quick here, so we can kind of get an idea of what we're all looking at here. So it's going to be either Texas or Arkansas of these next 2 games. They're gonna decide it out basically here. Looking like Texas is going to be the regular season champion. LSU they need to sweep to even have a shot. They're 17-10 in conference. Texas is 20-7. So if they get 3 wins this week.
Hey, a little quick mention. Kudos to Missouri. They got a sweep. Not only did they get finally a conference
Oh
win, they got a
yes,
sweep.
they did. They did sweep. Yeah, throw a shout out to them. That there. It's been a bad year to be a Missouri Tiger baseball fan, but LSU's definitely in the range there. 3 games back of Texas. But, Texas has the series win over LSU, so it wouldn't make a difference if they ended up with the same record. Texas would beat them out in that regard there. So you want to be in a good spot when it comes down to it. So we'll see how these championships settle themselves out here. So looking at the SEC tournament, because that's what everybody's looking at here, you want to be one of those top 4 seeds because they'll put you in the quarterfinals. It's a single elimination. Just
I honestly wouldn't be mad if LSU got eliminated the first time they play because it gives you more rest, like I said.
well, I think they have to beat whoever is. I think they need to win at least one game because I think you just want to have that RPI security for that top 8 national seed. That's the more important thing with the conference tournament here. So if they win, they would go to the semis here, and they either play the number 2 seed or the winner of Game 7.
Do you think it's a safe bet that they'll at least have a top 4 spot in the tournament, SEC tournament?
As far as a foregone conclusion, I think they're going to get a top 4 spot here. I don't see them not. I don't see them. They had 1 game lead on the team that was in 4th seed, so they have to at least drop that game to be there too. So then they got another game behind that one. So I think they got a 2-game lead right there. So in that regard, I think LSU's in a really good spot in terms of this tournament here because I think it's just the way it is. If you win the quarterfinals, you go to the semis. You got 3 games to play basically if you make it to the championship here. Um, it's gonna be interesting though. I will say that. I I think they'll win. They need to. I think the sweep of South Carolina is kind of huge in terms of this tournament seeding, but at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things technically here. But um, yeah, because you don't want to start in the first, second round. You don't want to try to beat yourself up too much in the conference tournament.
I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna buy that they sweep them, but I'm definitely gonna say they win it. Now, if they sweep them, that's good. I hope they do. They need to, but just based on the road struggles I've seen, I'm not gonna say they're gonna sweep them, but
I think they need to though because they're right on that cusp of what I feel comfortable with here. Now they're ranked number 1 in the country. They're D1 ranked them number 1. So
you know,
that's gonna get
you
some
know
merit. And some people are like that's the curse, but Tennessee won it all, being number 1. So
that brings up another good point. The last time LSU was ranked number 1 going into the final week of the regular season, the last 2 times they were ranked number 1 going into the final week was 2023 when they won the Natty, and then 2017 when they were the runner-up in Omaha.
so yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. um, but yeah, that's what I think here. I think they're gonna sweep South Carolina. I got them going in there here. I don't really know about this tournament too much here because it just depends where everybody falls at because you don't know who the winner of Game 8 is going to be. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it here. I think LSU does end up being a top 4 seed for the SEC tournament. I do believe they will end up being a top 8 national seed here. They have to win 1 game though. I think that is the chef's kiss of knowing everything. So all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in here to this episode here of the Fishbowl Sports Radio. We hope you have a great, wonderful night. We're going to see you here next time here on the Fishbowl Radio. And until then, we'll see how the Tigers do, and
We'll be breaking down conference tournaments next week.
Yeah, we got some. We're kind of debuting some newer stuff here on the Fishbowl. So, like new graphics and stuff. So that's kind of something that we're interested in, and it's gonna be make it a little bit better on our socials and stuff. Make things look a little bit nicer. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great, wonderful night. We'll see you here next time on the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
Good night.